Hey, all right, that was good. That was good. Was good. Welcome to another Friday weekly recap where we go over some plays and some plans you guys could have or could have not taken throughout the week that was just passed. Just give me a few moments while I just send out the link to the community. It's going to be real fast. And God willing, we can probably get into some pairs for the week going, further. So stay tuned. Let's see what's up. Not tools, groups, trade. Actually, community. Wow. All right. Let's get it rocking. Let's get it rocking. All right. So first things first, EU. All right. Actually, let me just check GU's. What's up? All right, cool. So the week started 5 days ago, 14th on the 14th. 14, 13. 14, 13. 14, 13. Okay, cool. So let's start with EUR USD. But before I even start, of course, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, comment it down in the comment section below so I can get back to you as soon as possible. But without further ado, let's get into it for EUR USD. I'm gonna start on Sunday. Should I start? Yeah, it don't matter. All right. So on Sunday, it opened up at a resistance point. Obviously, you guys know if it opens up at a resistance point, it might just tank a little bit or just tank a lot. In this case, it's only tank 50 pips. Oops. Cool. So it takes from this 19,500 level. If you were a seller, right, you was kind of eyeing this sell for the market open, yeah, because lower low, lower high. You guys want to sell the lower highs, all right. But me as a buyer, I have my little markups here for support right here because I've seen that over here on the left is how you mark up your little support zones going forward. On the left, we had a bit of resistance. So once you see a bit of resistance on the left, that could potentially be a support zone. So as you can see, I drew the rectangular box across the board. And as you can see, it came down. It rejected off of this support zone right here, came back up, came back down again. And you could have entered right here for a buy if you would have liked. All right. It was kind of, I think like 20, 30 pips away from the major level. Oh, no, not even 10 pips away. But yeah, if you wanted an early entry, this would have been a nice entry for yourself. All right. But throughout the week, like the start of the week, like always, same thing as last week, it kind of started off a little iffy. All right. So you could have got an entry right here. You probably would have, drew a little bit, little box around here as well, just to signify that it was kind of in a little range. All right. So once it was a little range, I was kind of skeptical about it. All right. So I basically just waited for it to come down to the major level or the mid level. All right. Unfortunately, it whipped off the mid level. Okay. As you guys know, it is a key resistance as well because it was over here. It rejected, came back up again, rejected again. All right. So if you was a buyer planning to buy this, right, you would wanted a higher high. Maybe it came down from this mid level, came here for a higher low, and then continued up. But unfortunately, it just tanked through. But on all reality, like in a perfect world, you guys wanted this and then breakthrough of the mid level. Like all in all, you wanted a breakthrough of the mid level for a higher low, so you could take it up to the next major level. All right. I'm kind of very, very surprised it even touched that major level of 2,000 right there. But this was kind of my mistake going into the week. Not even going into the week, but towards the end of the week, I did not notice this left hand side right here, even though I should have. That was my mistake. People make mistakes and everything. But yeah, I should have saw this resistance right here, came back to that same resistance and then double top. So I'll just get through that as we go along. 1 second. All right, cool. But yeah, nonetheless, it tanked from this mid level, which is all good. Give us a little, give us a better lower price to enter at. So as you can see, it consolidated right here. So this was a kind of battle between sellers and the buyers. All right. So sellers were obviously wanted to sell this resistance right here as I drew it up. That's why, you know, you keep your little rectangular boxes so you can see like where price can actually, you know, tend to hit off, you know, many times. And as you can see, it did hit off this resistance many times. However, it did hit off this major level many times as well. So this is you know, one of the things you guys can do when you're in the situation. It is ranging right now. So first of all, you got to realize, all right, cool. We made a lower low, came back, made a lower high. All right. So sellers are kind of in, you know, the how do I say this? They kind of they had the advantage. My fault. They had the advantage right now because it did make a lower low, lower high situation. All right. All right. However, you're still bouncing around this major level, so you can take a shot as a buyer. Maybe cut down your losses a little bit, but you can take a shot as a buyer if you do decide to enter at the major level as it keeps hitting this major level and then don't want to break through. All right. So at this point, you have to pick a side, either seller or a buyer. Right. Me personally, I'm a buyer always. So I would want to. I did buy actually this level right here, and I'm so sorry guys, I forgot to tell you. Well, I had this in the back of my mind since the beginning of March and a little bit of last month. The March meeting, September. I think I mentioned it, you know, a little bit last month, but I didn't really, you know, edify it for this month. So March 17th was a big, big, big day for, you know, the Fed, because they had a Fed meeting about the monetary policy. And then this, you know, this whole thing, like all USD pairs, all GBY pairs just shot up from this meeting, right? Exactly at that point where it started and then when it finished, all right? So yeah, so if you caught some pips right here and you kind of broke even, like don't beat yourself up because, you know, me as well, I thought it was gonna keep going up at that point. But I did, you know, I didn't notice, like I did, but at the same time I didn't. I was just too excited that, you know, it just kept going up. It's all good. But on the left, it was a bit of resistance right here that pushed price down, came back up to that same resistance point, pushed price down for a higher low, a higher low. Yeah, higher low. Yep, a higher low. And at this point, I thought it was gonna break through again. But at this point, you guys should have seen that it double top at the same resistance point, maybe a you know, a clean long wick right there, and then just push price down. So at this point, the trade was pretty much done. Like it all collapsed, as you can see right here, it collapsed. So maybe sellers got into this trade, or just buyers just took their profit because it was kind of scared that it didn't want to go past. But all in all, I'm very, very surprised it didn't go to 2000 because on a 4-hour chart, even though this is a strong resistance right here, I had, you know, this little resistance right here as well, which is a strong resistance because this is a strong support because it pushed price 100 pips. Right, I kind of wanted at least for the 2000 level to be touched, and then I could have took my profit. So I didn't really, you know, believe in this little resistance right here, even though I had it marked up. But hey, you know, that's how trading goes. Trade does it whatever. The trade does whatever it wants. You just have to, you know, risk manage properly. All right. So I ended up breaking even on this trade. All right. So damn, I'm kind of pissed because I was up like what? I had a 0.2 on here, so I was up $140. It's all good, man. It's all good. But yeah, so this is like the type of things you guys want to see. If you don't believe in this, maybe you can put on the 5 and 8 to see, you know, all right, cool. The 5 and 8 is crossing, so you maybe want to get out at that point. Plus you see resistance right here. So you have plenty of confirmation that you see that that you see that you know, potential sorry. So there's many confirmations that, you know, that's there that you can exit from. All right. So if you see, you know, a double top being created, that could be an exit point. If you see a 5-8 cross going back down, that could be an exit point, right? If you see, you know, other resistance from the left and it's the same resistance that's tapping off, it didn't want to go back past this resistance, that could be an exit point as well. All right. But me personally, I like to, you know, believe in my trades and believe what I'm doing. So I don't exit. I just put my trade and break even and then just see what happens. All right. But at this point, probably sellers were trying to get into the market as well. So they probably, you know, entered at this double top right here, came down for a lower high, right? And then also you could put the fib on to see where, you know, it could have went to. So just shy of the 382, but however, you still have this mid level as a resistance zone. So did a lower low. This is the difference between a drop and a dip. So a drop is like, you know, making a lower low. A dip is making a higher low. So this made a lower low, lower high. Okay, sellers took a sell right here. As you can see, sellers also, you know, saw this right here as resistance. So they obviously took that chance right there. Dipped again. Right, the same markup I have here for support. is being touched for a lower low. This is not a invitation to get in though. You need a double bottom for, you know, a higher high, higher low situation. Okay. So it did make a lower low, made a lower high. Okay. Came down again. So now you see this resistance support playing a little bit of a role right now, because now it's not really going past. But you know, as time went on, you know, it kind of trickled down to the major level. Okay. Came back up to that same resistance. That's why it's very important to, you know, mark up your little zones right here, because you can see how important it is to mark up these little zones. All right. So double top right there, and price just kept going down. All right. So this is what I'm talking about for like the week coming up. Me personally, I'm a buyer, as you guys all know. So what that means, I'm looking for Friday front runs for the week coming up. All right. So maybe we can get one here. If not, you guys can, you know, take the trade on your own after this live. All right. So personally, I am eyeing this major level of 1900 right now for a half lot buy. Okay. Just because, you know, this is the opposite of a drop. This is a push up. So it broke the last higher high. Now I'm waiting for a higher low, right, within this area to, you know, continue my buy. So boom. It kind of did a high low right here. Came up. So obviously we're playing off of this resistance right here. If it does so happen to break that resistance, we can expect to get a higher low on top of that resistance as support, and then continue that up. But mind you, we do have several challenges going up for EURUSD. So what I advise you guys to do is either just wait until all the you know nonsense cleared out and enter at the mid level, or just cut down your lot size in half, because there's a lot of risks going on right here. But nonetheless, this is still a very good setup for, you know, maybe at 4:30, like right before the market closes. So just to reiterate this again, a higher high, higher low, right? And then I'm waiting for a big push up going back up. All right. So that's for my plan for EURUSD for, you know, today. Going into the next week, and then on Sunday, obviously, I will reiterate my plans for the whole entire week and possibly for the rest of the month. All right. But yeah, that's enough for EURUSD. We can move on to GU. GU right here. All right, we started off on the 14th. The 14th. All right, wait. All right, so same thing as very similar to EURUSD, GBP USD. So we did come off a bearish week. All right, came back up from this little support zone right here. Okay, came up with the 14th. All right, so we played around this, you know, level right here. Eventually it did come up to this mid level right here. And it did play a big resistance zone. All right, so if you was a seller, you was actually maybe eyeing, you know, this mid level right here for a sell, but not entering yet. You was waiting for a double top, as you can see it did here right here, or a lower low. I mean, a lower low, lower high situation. So it didn't make a lower low, but it made a lower high off the, you know, 2 EMAs, and then it carried down. All right, me as a buyer, I actually bought this level right here, and expected it to break this mid level and then continue up to 4,000. All right, unfortunately, it didn't do that. So, you know, I lost a little bit of money right there. But that's all good, because I still did my job. You still supposed to, you know, buy these little higher highs and higher lows. And this is a key support zone right here as well. So it did go up for about 50 pips. I wanted 100 pips or more. I don't like 50 pips. So it went up 50 pips and then came down off of this double top. Sellers actually took action from this 5 and 8 cross, and then it went down about 100 pips. Okay. Did it again, lower low, lower high, right under the major level. Okay. Now it's a major resistance. So it went down again. All right. So this is where buyers actually, you know, try to get in right here. This is why it's important to do your little, you know, rectangular boxes so you can see secondary opportunities for you to get into the trade. All right. So as you can see, a big push up. This is what a buyer wants. They want a big push up, significant, basically canceling out all the higher highs. I mean, all the lower highs that were previously made. So we did make a higher high. Now we made a higher low. So now, I didn't buy this particularly because it was too close to that major resistance. So I just wanted a clean break of that major resistance so I can enter for a buy. All right. So I didn't really get that clean entry that I wanted. So I think I did pass on this. Yeah, I did pass on this because I didn't really like the setup. And then obviously the Fed meeting on March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, it shot up. All right. So once it shot up, I used a 5-hour time frame. Actually, let me just do this. So obviously I didn't like this one because this is still a drop right here. I didn't want, one touch and going up. But I did kind of forgot that the time of the March meeting. So on a 5-minute chart, I actually got in at the major. All right. So I don't know if it's going to show you, but on a 5-minute chart, I actually seen a high, low being created within the 15-minute time frame. So that's something you guys can do when ever a high volatility action occurs, because whenever it just flies up on the 15-minute chart or the hour or whatever, just dumb it down to the lowest time frame so you can see the high highs and high lows being created within that big candle. Because on the 5-minute and the 5-minute and the 1-minute, there are higher highs and higher lows being created. They're just very, very fast. It's like a scalping method. All right. So if you were, a person like me that was very aggressive trying to get to this trade, you would have seen the higher low being, created around this major level. Excuse me. All right. All right, cool. So let me just delete it. Cool. And it went up about 100 pips from there. So it was a good profit. I did want a little bit more. I just expected it to break the 1.4 thousand level. It came down to 50 pips again. You could have got a buy entry right here as well. Okay, because as you can see, it's support right here, and it did double bottom. All right. So you want that, big push up going back up. Unfortunately, it did not. It didn't even do a double top. It did a lower high, which is actually worse. All right. So once it did a lower high, obviously sellers eye that as an opportunity to sell. Okay. So either you had this, you had this a little like under this one right here, under the last lower low. What was this, like 20 pips? So either you lost 20 pips or you broke even. Me personally, I lost 20 pips. And I took profit on this one. Okay, but in all, like this double top. So if you was a safe, if you wanted to play safe, you would have waited for the higher low right there, and then continue it up. All right. So that's basically what I'm waiting for. Well, not now, but that's basically what I wanted to happen, so I can get another entry going back up. Unfortunately, it didn't do it. And then it kept going down. So at this point, you see a drop. This is not your invitation to buy. Like I said, you're waiting for a double bottom. All right. So it even double bottom. It just dropped, came down for a support, went up 50 pips, double top on that mid level, and then came back down. Right. So now around here, you probably would have got, try to get to an entry, particularly right here, maybe on this major level. Right. Nice little work right there. What time was this as well? 23. So it's around that time to, actually try to execute your trades. So, anywhere around here would have been a nice entry for you. It did win about 50 pips before coming back down again. So as you can see, you could obviously eye this as a key resistance because support right here, broke that support, came up for resistance, double top that resistance, strong resistance right there, came down again, strong resistance again, and it just came crashing down. All right. So now what we're looking at is a potential to actually get into it for a front run. All right. So now it made a lower low. It did make a lower high, but I'm waiting for it to make a higher low. All right. So a higher low will indicate, all right, cool. This is not going to go past right here. And I'm expecting it to keep going up. As you can see, this is my buy zone right here on a higher time frame. This is a nice support zone right here. All right, so this is gonna be an aggressive entry for whoever wants to take it. If you want to wait till next week, you're gonna have to expect something like this. Either it stays around here for the week, or not for the week, but like Monday, Tuesday. If it stays around here, you're probably gonna get an entry. Or if you wanted to wait like for a nicer entry, a safer entry at that, you want to wait for that break of the 1.3 thousand level, 1.39 thousand level, higher high, higher low, boom, and then continue it up. All right. All right. Oh yeah. So it's either right here for a buy zone for today, for leading into London so on Sunday, or you just wait for that, big push up, passing that 1.39 thousand level, and then get into the higher low. All right. So if anybody wants any questions, I'm gonna move on to the next pair. Just GJ. All right, cool. So similar as like all these pairs are very similar. So what's the 14th? Oh, sorry. All right, cool. So like GJ definitely came off a bearish week. And then it starts to rally up in the beginning. So if you got this 151 level right here, the 14th. So yeah, it dropped like crazy from this point right here. I do have a little rectangular box to signify, all right, cool, this is last resistance, support, support, support. Came up, came down, crashing down. Now it was at this 151 level. So if you didn't enter, you're not supposed to enter right here on this drop. You can enter at the higher, high, higher, low, not even like in this little area right here, which is, basically what you want every time. So this was playing off the resistance right here. However, it did make a higher low. So if you want to enter that at the higher low on top of support, which is a major level, be my guest. That was actually a good entry I took. It happened at 9 o'clock right after London Open, so which is a good time as well. All right. And as you can see, this is why you keep, this is why we do these little rectangular boxes and keep them just to see like where, trades can actually wick off of if it's not the major or the mid. So it broke that resistance right there, came down for a higher low on top of that support. That was once resistance. And then now could have got another entry at the mid level as it makes nice higher highs and higher lows, riding those two EMAs. So higher high, higher low. Could have got another entry right there. And then it went up to 152, which is a big resistance. So if you wanted, you could have took your profit right there. Or if you believe in the trade that, it could have went a little bit further, you could have waited until it got all the way to 153. That was actually my, exit plan right here. Sorry. So this was actually my exit plan right here off a pivot point. However, it did double top right here on the mid level. So 50 pips short of that, that at exit point. So if I dumb it down a little bit more, if you guys was in this trade and you saw something like this, like anytime you see double top happen and it doesn't want to make a higher high, then that's a clue that, you should get out. Or just put your profit in break even mode, all right? Or just take some profit in all in all. But yeah, so once you see that double top, that's the first sign. This is actually what sellers want. They want the double top, lower low, lower high, right under that row reversal. So you see how, I had this little area signifying the last higher low. So it didn't make a higher high, but it double topped, came down, passing that last higher low, came up, lower high on the bottom of the last higher low, and then it kept going back down. Now we're making lower lows and lower highs. Now it's making lower lows and lower highs. Okay. So that being said, like it just kept going back down. So if you was a buyer, you're not in this trade at all. All right. You're not in this trade at all. Now you gotta wait for, the opposite, either a double bottom at one of these points, or a higher high, higher low situation that we're getting right now. So with that being said, we can try to get into a play for GJ for a Friday front run. I'm gonna give you a little plan for you guys. So currently we did make a big push up 50 pips on top of this major level. So if it comes up again on this major level, you could possibly get an entry going back up. Or you can wait for the double bottom. But I think, it's gonna play good around this major level. If not, you can add this double bottom. Probably gonna happen not even today. If it happens today, it's gonna be a strong, drop. But probably gonna happen on Sunday, leading into London, going into Monday. But yeah, nonetheless, you can drag this little support across too as well. Wow. All right, so it's a little support zone right here next to the mid level. Let me mute myself. Like, what's up with this? Anyways, like I was saying, guys, this is GBP JPY for maybe a Friday front run. If you guys, do get a wick entry on top of the major level, you could probably get in for the week coming up, or you can just wait for the double bottom if it does come down here, or you can just wait for the next higher low situation, which is actually the safest play. All right. So with that being said, right, I'm just gonna hop off this, guys. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns about any pair, just hit me up directly on the app, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And then yeah, let's have a great next of the week, guys. Don't forget to study throughout this week, plan out for your week, and then execute for the week coming up. All right. So be safe, be smart, and then I'll see you guys on Sunday for our Sunday weekly pre-market setup. All right.